Hello, everyone. I'm Carolyn Jones with the Holistic Institute of Wellness.
And I'm Jana Katovitz.
So we wanted to take a few moments today and talk about how to boost your immunity.
Yes, very important during these times now.
Yes, so I did a brief video on this probably back in March. And so, but because of where we are now entering into August and beginning our fall season essentially, although it's still very hot outside, but we are starting to enter that last quarter of the year, and so we'll be getting into fall. And it's really important that we take a proactive approach versus a reactive approach.
Yes, and we're still in a lot of air conditioning right now, so this is another reason to keep your immunity up.
Yes.
Yes.
So we want to talk about boosting your immunity. And Jana, thank you for joining me in the kitchen today.
You're welcome.
I wanted to show off some of my babies, which I'll talk more about here in a minute, about and how to utilize these to boost your immunity.
They're beautiful.
Thank you.
They're very well behaved.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pleased with them.
Yeah, you've done well.
Thank you. So, as we said, you want to take a proactive approach with your health. A lot of times what happens is that we wait until we're sick to do something about it. But actually, if you will begin to implement some things right now, you will be able to get through the last quarter of this year much more healthy. So, let's talk about a few ways to boost our immunity.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you want to start with the breath?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the breath is, as you'll hear a lot of people talk about, just truly, truly important to have a clear airway. Breathe deeply. Just take a few breaths, and at the beginning of the day, if that's all you've got. If you can do it in the middle of the day, even better. And if you forget to do that, then do it at the end of the day, right before you fall asleep. But please remember to keep your lungs open and healthy, especially during this times that we are all living in, but also seasonally.
Yes.
Okay, respiratory is usually the particular system that becomes compromised come the change of the seasons. So our breath is very important to keep the oxygen clean and keep it strong.
And a lot of people don't realize, Jana, that they are actually shallow breathers.
Yes, they are.
And so the majority breathe down, unless you really focus on your breath. And we would probably challenge you to focus on your breath to see how far you actually breathe down, because our experience has been most people breathe about right here. So we call that shallow breathing. It goes into the chest versus down into the lungs. And the lungs always need to be cleared. So especially in the mornings, you've laid on your back or side, or whatever, however you sleep, but your lungs are collecting essentially stale air. So you really want to be mindful of the morning, and when you get up, just take some nice deep breaths in and almost just blow out your breath so that you can clear your lungs.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I also wanted to mention that when Jana and I talk about things such as immunity, we look at everything that we do on a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical aspect. So know that everything we're sharing with you today hits all of those aspects. So it's not just about eating good and taking great supplements, although that is an important part of it, but there's also other practices that you can do on these different levels that will help you stay in a better state of balance, because the immunity system is directly related to our internal balance.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes. And meditation or prayer is a great way to achieve that, right? And you'll always hear people talking about meditation or prayer. You'll also hear them talking about the breath. So the two of them really do go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But meditating, we usually start with a few breaths just to get centered. And it's a nice way to get quiet in your mind. And it can be said that prayer is wonderful for speaking to our higher selves, for saying what we need to say. And then meditation is wonderful for listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listening, get quiet and listen.
That's a great distinction.
So we are big proponents of that, to Remember to balance it all out. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And that'll keep you very, very healthy.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. So another one of my favorites is Epsom salt baths. So the magnesium in Epsom salts is very important to our system, and most of us are magnesium deficient. And so when we take Epsom salt baths, it allows us to absorb that magnesium into our system, because the skin is the largest organ of the body. Not only that, but it also allows us to detox any foreign energies or toxins or things of that nature, and assist in bringing us into balance as well.
And it's wonderful for muscle relaxation.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, and there's some great things you can do to doctor up your bath. You can drop a few drops of your favorite essential oil in there. Like a couple of my favorites is like lavender or frankincense, eucalyptus. Any of those are really good. You can also put like a teaspoon of I believe it's baking powder that softens the water.
I want to say baking soda.
Baking soda, sorry. Yes. Baking soda, you can drop a teaspoon or a tablespoon of that into the bath water, and that will actually soften the water if the salt dries you out. And so you can do the Epsom salts along with all of that, and it's just a really good relaxing, detoxing, and also immunity building bath. Yeah.
Nice technique.
The other thing you can do is really be mindful of your own energy. So what does that mean? Essentially, so we all carry a lot of energetic, I call it energetic Velcro. Like our energy fields, or like Velcro. Sorry. And so we're constantly picking up on energies in the collective, and a lot of people are always like, that what do you mean by that? Well, every thought, every action, every word spoken, that puts forth an energy in the air, and those energies are palpable and you can feel them. And so because we are energetic beings, we will pick up on those energies.
Yes, we will.
And those energies will weigh us down. So being mindful of your energy and doing energetic practices will help you stay in a very calm, centered space. It's also amazing how much fear, hatred, and anger lowers your immune system.
Yeah, the frequency.
The frequency
all goes
of
back
it.
to frequency.
It does.
And it does lower it. Frequency is heavier than, fear is heavier than love. So, and that will tax the immune system. Always.
It definitely will.
Always, always, always.
So that's another thing in managing your energy, of things that you can be aware of, is where your thoughts are going, where your words are going, what ways are your actions directed, because that plays a significant role in your immune system. And out on our Holistic Institute of Wellness website, we put together a beginner's guide to chakras and energy fields. And if you go to our website and subscribe, then you will receive a free download of that book. It's an ebook, and it's a really good tool for explaining about the chakra system, the energy fields, how to protect it, how to work with it, how to ground yourself. And this is really important, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be really important this last quarter of the year, staying very centered and very grounded. So you really want to make sure you're paying attention to that.
Yeah, and remember to understand it. It's that will help to be able to negotiate these next 4 months, right, and into next year.
Yeah.
It's educate yourself, and that will help with the understanding of what feels so out of control. And that in turn will help keep you balanced, which will in turn help your immunity.
Yeah.
Electromagnetics. It's all electromagnetics.
Yes.
So what we put out will always come back one way or another, and everybody's doing this.
Yes.
So where do you want to put your energy with all of that? just be diligent of your own.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And not only being diligent in your own, but being mindful of how you're affecting those around you,
Mm-hmm.
especially
Exactly.
those you're in close contact with.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So going back to essential oils real quick, there are several oils you can also, or ways that you can utilize oils, and that is also through diffusing, sprays. You can put a little bit on the palms of your hands and just take some nice deep inhalations.
Yeah, and there's only 2 oils that you should use directly. Now it's okay to just put a little dab on your palms, but if you're going to do more than that and put it directly on you, tea tree and lavender are the safest ones, and those are considered the safest to do neat, N-E-A-T. Everything else must have a carrier oil. Okay, so just play it safe. It just has to do with the absorption rate.
Is that why they burn?
Yes, that's why they burn. Or people have all sorts of different experiences, but use a carrier oil. Sunflower oil, grapeseed oil. There's another really popular, almond oil is a nice one. And there's one more that I'm a big fan of, and I apologize, can't think of it now. But again, we live in a wonderful time right now, so information is everything, and it's very easy to go ahead and Google it and find out what a safe carrier. Oh, jojoba. There we go.
Yes.
Jojoba.
Yes.
Wonderful oil. Use a carrier oil or just small amounts in your palms. And Carolyn's right. Just do a quick inhalation, and it'll go. Remember, that's just about the brain and how it responds.
Yes, and we have a wonderful practitioner, one of our Reiki 2 practitioners, who also specializes in aromatherapy sessions, and her name is Amber Kern, and she is on our Holistic Institute of Wellness practitioner page. So if you're interested in receiving an aromatherapy session that will boost your immunity, and I had a couple of sessions, I think you did too, with Amber
Fabulous.
last year.
Yes.
And right before cold and flu season hit.
Yes.
And I am so glad I did, because it really helped me get through the year with no problem.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It was very helpful.
yeah, so I would encourage you all to reach out to Amber as well. So now, talking a little bit about different supplements, and I know, Jana, you are like the queen of supplements. You do a tremendous amount of research. I know in one of our earlier videos we talked about our new Regen Ginger, so we have a separate video on that. But can you tell our listeners a little bit, just some additional supplements that you enjoy taking? And
So as I explained in the other video, and those of you who know me both personally and professionally, I am very diligent on working all systems of the body, just not one, because it all works together. So as we were discussing in the last video, the endocannabinoid system is very important to our immunity, but also your antioxidants. And the reason antioxidants are a big deal is because they work on the mitochondrial DNA of who we are, which is cellular. So again, it's important to understand there are different types of antioxidants, and we all hear the common lingo that it's great. It helps keep the bad cells away. It's true. It's great. It's wonderful. But there's actual differences in your antioxidants. We are all being, unfortunately, just compromised with our immunity because of the different avenues that we used to use, that we do use every day, but everything's becoming very compromised, so it's gotten to where we need some assistance with the supplementation. So I go to the best of the best, and I utilize my mitochondrial DNA to help me stay healthy.
yeah,
And that helps my brain stay clear and clean and free from plaque, and which of course is a whole other topic. My heart clear and clean, able to keep my blood pressure down, or which I've never had a problem with blood pressure, but everybody's different. So, and again, how to get through the stressors of the day. Everything right now is from mental stressing to physical stressing. and it's beginning to take all different shapes and forms now, more so than ever. So it's imperative. I personally use supplementation to keep my body healthy, as opposed to just food.
Right.
Because foods have become compromised, so it's clear we need assistance.
Any other specific supplements that you can recommend during this time?
Well, during this time, vitamin D, absolutely, zinc,
Yeah.
absolutely, have all been tied. Those are the two and vitamin C have all been very tied to the virus that's all going around. So keep your vitamin D up, keep your K2 levels up as well. I'm reading in the research. K2 is tied to vitamin D. Okay, that's your structural, that's your bones, and keep them strong. Again, depending on where you live in the country, it's different for all of us.
Right.
I know I went from very sunny coast. I was over on the West Coast. I never had to worry about vitamin D or K2. I now live in an area that definitely has gray days for weeks on out, or snow, and my vitamin D levels became depleted. And so I all of a sudden had to be very diligent on supplementing my system. Yeah, because I'm not receiving the vitamin D from the sun as much as I'm genetically used to.
Right.
I'm in literally a different environment. So when we shift environments, your system is going to react.
Right.
And it's got to adapt. And so sometimes we need help with the adaptation.
Yeah. What about elderberry, Jana? Do you ever take elderberry?
I do.
or-
It's a wonderful immune product,
Okay.
immune system product. I really crank my elderberry come winter. I don't necessarily do it a lot during the winter, the summer, but if I feel a little tickle coming on or something, I will definitely bring it into my routine.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I'm a big fan of noni. I've been drinking that for 30 years. A lot of people don't like that one.
Don't know how you do it,
But I do. I love it. It works for my chemistry.
Right.
And that's me. Everybody's chemistry is different.
And that's important because
Yes.
you want something that matches with your chemistry. Noni does not match with my chemistry. I've tried it based on Jana's recommendation because she said that it's just absolutely wonderful for you, but I can't get it down. So
It's very earthy.
but there's a lot of people out there that enjoy it. So yeah, those are all great. Thank you for sharing this.
You're welcome.
So one of my favorites, since I don't drink noni, and we're going to talk a little bit about healthy eating now, and also some things that you can do on your own. But one of my favorite things that I've started making through this lockdown is wellness shots. So I've been experiencing with wellness shots. And so this is my latest creation. And this contains ginger and lemon, along with a coconut water, a dash of cayenne, and some fermented beet juice.
It's delicious.
And thank you.
It really is.
I have
It's
to
great.
say, it is really tasty. So take about a 2-ounce shot of this every day.
You can always
and
break it up.
You can always break it up, and that just keeps the immunity going. And this also has some orange in it, some fresh orange.
Nice.
So if you don't like beets, I know some people don't, you can always leave the beet juice out and just do the lemon, orange, the ginger, pineapple, coconut. You can add all sorts of things in it to your taste. But again, the ginger is so good for immunity, also good for the common cold, any flu, virus, that sort of thing, symptoms. So I've really enjoyed making these, lots of fun. The other thing you can do is also, as we're moving into this next half of the year, and again, although it's hot, it's good to go ahead and start eating some healthy soups because soups warm the system.
Warm the system.
And I made a delicious lima bean Swiss chard soup a couple of nights ago. And just to start on that, there's a lot of wonderful recipes out there that you can make with lima beans, chickpeas. We're both actually vegetarian, and we have a lot of really great recipes for different soups and things. Of course, those of you that are not vegetarian, again, lots of great soups out there that you can go ahead and start making and put them in the freezer. So you've got them this fall and winter just to pull out and eat a couple of times a week. So you're
Right.
starting to warm up your system.
Right.
And I learned that from a couple of my nutritionist friends years ago. And they talked about the importance of warming your system up for the year. So, or as we lead into the year, we have a guest, Jana.
We have a guest. My kitty cat Ruru is attempting to jump on my
Yes,
lap.
I
so
see her. I see her paw.
She's going to be joining us and be my guest.
She wants some airtime.
She's attempting to pop up. Here she comes. Yeah. There we go. Say hello.
So this is Ruru.
This is Ruru. Now, that being said, kitty, your animals are important during this time as well.
That's
so
true.
Just be diligent of the seasons and how their system is going to respond, no matter whether they're inside or outside. They are just as important because they also, backing track to an energy system, they have an energy system as well.
Yeah.
And they can feel us, and they're very loyal, and they are here to help us, but they have a tendency to take on our energy.
Yes.
And we don't necessarily want that because they don't necessarily have a way to dispel it like we do.
Right.
They're not diligent of that. So please be aware of your mental state and your emotional state around your animals, and know that they are here to love us, but take good care of them. Absolutely.
And one thing that you can do is you can actually what's called energetically brush your animal down. So just like what Jana's doing with Rue, it's just intentional, but you can literally take your hands and just set the intention to clear their energy and brush it all the way down the body, and it will clear them from the the energetic Velcro that I call it, and help them stay healthy as well. So
Yeah.
all right, now the fun part that I've been waiting to share with you all is through the quarantine, I learned how to ferment, and I absolutely love it.
Really good.
And what I learned about fermenting, I was just really looking for something creative to do, and I love to cook. So I have a friend of ours, a community member, who does some fermenting, and it really got my interest piqued. And so I thought, wow, I really want to try that. So I have been doing different fermented dishes. I've done dilly beans and curry cauliflower. I've got
Pickles.
pickles, asparagus. I have also, of course, done the fermented beet juice. I have some things that are still fermenting here. I've got some kimchi, some sauerkraut. I've got a beet kraut over here. And then I have a citrus maple carrot fermenting over here. And so what I learned, though, although this is a very creative, fun process for me, through the process, I learned how good fermented foods are for you.
Right.
And as Jana talked about earlier, and also in our other video, how important gut health is. So fermenting is a great probiotic, a natural probiotic for us. And so it really helps with the gut and helps it stay healthy, which is the key to our immunity, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So fermented foods are so good for those natural probiotics. The other thing they're good for is that they contain a lot of B vitamins, even B12. So this is a really awesome way to keep your immunity up. And this is something that you can eat on all year long. So most of these things, like the kimchi and the krauts, those take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. So I try and keep a couple of batches going, but these other items like the carrots, the pickles, a couple of other things I've done, the dilly beans, those take maybe 5 to 7 days. And so you can keep fermented foods on hand all the time, and you don't need a lot of them. You can just take a few out and eat it by themselves. They're really delicious on their own, or you can put that with another entree, or whatever you're having for the day. So but I just wanted to share this with you all, one, because I'm super proud and I've had so much fun with it, but two, because of the health benefits. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very tasty.
So Jana, anything else you and Rue would like to add today to our immunity boosting video?
I'd say we covered it all. I think we did really well.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone
Thank
for
you,
tuning
everyone.
in. We appreciate it. Always appreciate your support
Yes.
and for following us. And again, if you have any questions or want to learn more about fermenting, I'd be happy to share. Please feel free to reach out to us at holisticinstituteofwellness.com, or you can contact me directly at Carolyn@holisticinstituteofwellness.com. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Be well.
Be healthy.